I am the biggest New England Patriot fan in the world, but the offseason saga with Tom Brady and the whole contract thing, I believe is starting to taint his character. I have the answer that solves all of this. And NFL reinstates D lineman from the Browns, Myles Garrett, after only 6-game suspension. What is wrong with that picture? Let's start the show.
You're tuned in to the hottest sports analysis of the week with your hosts Ron Dolbeck and Chris Roberts. And now, here's the first round.
It's a Wednesday in the first round. You're here live with Ron Dolbeck and Chris Roberts. Also joining us on the board, Ray Boom Boom Mancini. And we are talking about everything going on in the world of sports. Like so many weeks, there's so much stuff going on. We are going to be talking about Tom Brady. We're going to be talking about Myles Garrett. Should the Red Sox and Astros give back these trophies or have them vacated? I'm going to talk about that. Why did the Red Sox give up the second best player in baseball? It can't be a money thing. They made over $550 million last week. I don't understand what's going on, but that's why I have this gentleman right here to my left, Chris Roberts.
Hey, man, what's going on?
Dude, something about you look. Did you get your hair done?
Man, I got a haircut, man.
You look fresh, dude.
I know, man. I had to get spiffy, man.
You're looking spiffy.
I know, my guy.
There you go.
Look spiffy. But you know, Ron, what I'm trying to figure out is what coach is going to get in trouble with this XFL, with all these mics in their face. Like, who's going to get in trouble first?
You know, I've actually only given the XFL about a nanosecond of my life so far. I'm willing to invest more. But I really think we have to have a discussion about upgrading the cheerleader situation because that's why I'm watching at this point.
Hey, well, exactly. But, you know, I mean, they have so much access. I mean, you have access to the locker rooms. They have before and after the game.
I know. When they start implementing bathroom cam, it's just, it goes beyond what I need to know.
Exactly.
This is a major TMI. I don't need to know that stuff with my football. What I do need to know with my football is the Tom Brady saga.
Yeah.
And another onion peel comes off of this story now, which is Tom Brady going to Dallas, which is laughable because I can tell you right now, my predictions over the past 4 months have been, how would you word them?
I mean, your predictions have been on point. I mean, they've been almost spot on, to be honest with you.
My bank account says the same thing. This is what I see happening.
Right.
The whole stall-out drama, this is why I hate Dallas, is because you never get good stories out of Dallas. It's always some stupid drama, contract, Jerry Jones, cocaine, Zeke holdout. And the latest story out of Dallas now is what's going to happen with Dak Prescott. Well, they're not going to pay him the money that he wants, which for some reason is around $35 million. Help me to understand this, because isn't Russell Wilson making $32.5 million a year? And so what Dak Prescott thinks is with one playoff victory, he's better than Russell Wilson, who has been to multiple Super Bowls and has won a ring. There's nothing you can say that can help me to understand this, Chris. But is that what we're actually at that level where he has to get $35 million a year or more from Dallas?
I mean, yeah. I mean, really, when you think about it, I guess he thinks he's that guy up in Kansas City who just won a ring, you know. This guy's going to get a payday, so I'm guessing he wants to be in line with that guy in Kansas City.
What's the logical thinking behind that? The key is logical. What makes you? If you're Dak Prescott, how do you look at Jerry Jones and he says $30 million? You go, not enough. Like, what's going through your head that makes you get in a position where $30 million is not enough? Beyond that, I need to get paid more than Russell Wilson?
Hey, man, you have to understand. Look, Kirk Cousins got a full guaranteed contract.
He didn't even get $30 million a year, though.
But Dak is like, if he got a fully guaranteed contract, I know I'm worth more than him.
All right, let's get back on point. So the latest stupid story out there is that Dak Prescott won't pay Dak Prescott the $35 to $40 million that he wants, and Tom Brady is going to move his family to Dallas and play for the circus of insanity, as I call them, which is the Dallas Cowboys. There is absolutely zero metaphysical chance that is happening. What will happen, and mark my words, is the Dallas Cowboys are going to franchise tag Dak Prescott.
Of course.
That's it. This is about money. They want to be able to re-sign Amari Cooper. They're going to franchise tag him. And I'm going 90% Tom Brady re-signs with the Patriots. Now, I'm going to stop right there with this. The way that this has been handled by Tom Brady, to me, it's tainting his legacy. And this is coming from somebody who has built a shrine in my house to this team. And they are not God, but they are lower level gods. And I can't understand why Tom Brady is taking the route that he has. And the route I'm talking about is the cryptic Twitter messages, the mysterious Hulu commercial during the Super Bowl, not renegotiating when he has all kinds of time. He could just put this out there and say, look, I'm just in the middle of negotiations. No, I'm not negotiating at all. I'm not talking about it. After the last game of the season in the press conference, what was Tom Brady saying? Hey, are you going to be back next year, Tom? Well, I don't know. We'll just have to see. I'm just finishing up this year. Cryptic, mysterious, cleaning out the suite at Gillette, moving his box, the Hulu commercial where guys are trying to figure out, is he walking into Gillette Stadium or is he walking out? Is this a Kobe reference? I am so done with this circus, honestly. And this is coming from somebody who loves the Patriots. I love all things Boston. But you have to be objective enough to call childish actions what they are. I think this is such an ego grab from a guy who's married to a supermodel who has $800 million. Why take this route?
Ron, I don't think it's an ego grab. I mean, just think about it. This is his first time going into free agency. I mean,
you're 43 in August.
Out of 20 years of he's given to this team, this is his first time in going to free agency. And so, I mean, it's just like a kid that's just getting a scholarship. You know, I mean, he wants to enjoy the recruitment process.
This is not enjoying. This is emotionally playing with people. And he should know better because he's 42. And I just think he should know better. This is ridiculous.
Really,
he's holding the strings of so many people up in the air for what good reason?
Well, Ron, I mean, the Patriots can always walk away. They have the purse strings. They don't have to put up with this. They can easily walk away.
My question to you is, why is he acting in this manner? And it's the moving, it's the trainer moving his house, it's the Hulu commercials, it's the cryptic tweets that he puts out on Instagram and Twitter. It's not renegotiating when he has plenty of time to do it. It's being non-confrontational when it comes to signing his contract or where he wants to go. Why act like that when you can just say nothing or sign? I mean, the answer to me, the way to fix this is either you sign with the Patriots, because here's the deal. March 18th, if he doesn't sign with the Patriots, they take a $13.5 million cap hit.
Yeah.
Why are you stringing this out? What's the good reason, Chris? Show me the other side of the nickel. What's the good reason for all the cryptic text, the emotional head games, holding this out? It seems like a power trip to me, and I'm not even supposed to be saying that because I'm a Patriots fan.
Well, I understand you're a Patriots fan, but at the same time, I mean, this guy he's given everything to the Patriots. I mean, he's given them.
Is he acting mature? He's
given them 6 rings. It's not the fact that we're acting mature or immature. Right now, he is taking time off. Just like, I mean, the same thing Drew Brees is doing.
Right, but Drew Brees isn't putting out Hulu commercials. He's not moving his house. He's not getting his trainer moved. He's not cleaning out the Superdome. He's not putting out cryptic tweets.
Well, I mean,
Drew Brees isn't doing all those things, dude.
At the same time, I mean, he's probably talking things over with his wife to figure out what is it that they want to do. I mean, Tom Brady is a private person anyway, so he's not going to let the world in as to what he's going to do.
He's putting a lot of nonsense out there.
Until when he wants to get ready to do it. So, I mean, I think he's enjoying, the fact that, okay, I can actually take a break away from this. I don't have right now. Yes, I don't want to talk about a contract right now.
There you go. That's a big difference.
We have upwards to another month. I mean, to talk about this contract. As a matter of fact, it came out that Bob Kraft is like, okay, fine, so be it. I'm comfortable with him, and right now in the whole free agency process. Let him enjoy the free agency process. When it gets down to that.
Just without the drama, Chris. That's all I'm saying is we don't need all this other garbage going on. If you want to come out like you said, and Tom Brady wants to come out and say, look, I just want to go through this process. My options are open. I would love to re-sign with the Patriots, but I'd like to also get feelers from other, teams out there. Okay, say that once, put it out there, and let us know what's going on. but to drag it on with all the other stuff like clearing out Gillette and his trainer moving his house, him moving his house, all the cryptic tweets, the Super Bowl commercial with Hulu, all that nonsense is non-needed drama. It's not needed. It's tampering with his legacy. I'm serious, man. I'm starting to, I can't even believe I'm going to say this, but I'm starting to not like the guy. And I don't want to put bad voodoo out that might ruin his chances for coming back, but this is like really like some low-key like high school nonsense, man. This is not the actions of a mature person.
I think you're getting emotional, man.
I am getting emotional.
You're getting emotional about the situation, man.
I ran out of limoncello.
That's all it is, man. You guys are very emotional because Tom Brady has always been a staple to this Patriots offense. He has always been there, and for once, Tom Brady is just like, you know what? I'm just want to do me for a little while.
I don't mind him doing him. I mind him doing it in an immature high school fashion. Don't take to the Twitter sphere and do all this other mysterious garbage. Just say, look, on this date, I'll come up with it. Or I just come out and make a statement. I'm going through the process. Please respect my privacy. Okay, fine. That's fine. The Patriots need an answer before March 18th. And hopefully he'll give him that answer, and I think he will. And this is what's even going to be even worse. If he ends up re-signing for the Patriots, Chris, what was all this for? An ego boost? How do you need an ego boost when you got $800 million in the bank, you got more championships and records than God, and you're married to a supermodel? Giselle! That's it! Giselle, just that right there. Why do you need an ego boost? You got married to Giselle. Why do we need to stroke your ego any more than that?
I mean, Tom Brady, the ego was already there, but he was just so chill about it. So, I mean, right now you just started to see Tom Brady's personality for what it is.
Do you see any validity in anything I'm saying with this?
Right now, I think you guys are emotional because it's like you're getting afraid, like you think your girl is going to dump you before prom. I mean,
I'm not afraid. If he wants to go somewhere else, that's fine. But just give us time to readjust our cap, get prepared for the draft, and move on in the quarterback direction with either Jared Stidham or move up in the draft to get somebody else. That's it. Just give us time to plan.
But again, maybe, he is taking that time to give you time to plan, or maybe he's looking at, okay, what type of draft moves you guys are going to make in order for me to go back and re-sign? What are your plans, Bill Belichick? What are you planning on doing?
It's not. I need another drink. I'm going to take one in a second. In other crazy NFL news, the NFL, for some reason, reinstated defensive end from the Browns, Myles Garrett. He served a 6-game suspension for taking the helmet off of Mason Rudolph of the Pittsburgh Steelers and in tomahawk over-the-head fashion, swinging it, attempting to decapitate the quarterback from Pittsburgh. Unsuccessfully, he was escorted off the field, $700,000 in fines later, a 6-game suspension for Myles Garrett, and somehow he's back in the NFL. We don't know if he had any anger management training, and this only happened November 14th, so December, 3 months. That's 3 months of anger management training if he started that week, which I don't think happens. And what concerns me even more is the fact that he was the most heavily penalized defensive end in the NFL before this happened. And by the way, the Cleveland Browns, not that they don't have a big enough carnival of insanity of their own going on with all the nonsense and the hype over the last 2 years, which has resulted in nothing. The new executive director of football operations and GM, Andrew Berry, came out today and said, guess what? We're eager to have him back. He's going to be a strong and positive presence again on our team. Really? You got so much stuff to clean up in Cleveland just to be sniffing the playoffs. To make those kind of statements from the GM to me sounds crazy. And why did Roger Goodell reinstate him after a 6-game suspension for what he did on the field? Chris, I don't think it's enough.
Well, first, the GM. I kind of like what this GM did when he first got in there. The first thing that GM did is, look, he pulled Odell Beckham and he pulled he pulled the quarterback, Baker Mayfield, that guy. Yeah,
Jarvis Landry.
Progressive guy.
Kareem Hunt.
He pulled all of those guys together, mainly Odell Beckham and And yeah, the quarterback guy.
Baker
Mayfield, yeah, he's forgettable right now. So, but yeah, he pulled them together, and the first thing he said was this: the selfish stuff has to stop. We will not have this in our organization no longer. He made and put an emphasis on that with the issue with Odell Beckham handing out money at the national championship game. He stated that would not.
Should he extend the suspension of Myles Garrett privately from inside the house?
From inside the house,
Yeah.
I mean that's something for.
Now I'm asking you: should he extend it? Say we know what the NFL did, but we're taking it another 4 games.
Well, Ron, I mean, with that situation, if it's the previous GM, that would be something that yes, I would say to do that. But the fact that he's coming in under he's a new administration, if he feels that the NFL has done what they feel like he needed to do, and also if he went through the anger management training or whatever, or still going through the anger management training.
There's no news of any anger management training.
That the NFL, I'm pretty sure the NFL has stipulated, or the players union has stipulated that he has to go through some type of training before.
There's
he's
absolutely
reinstated.
been no news of him attending any kind of anger management training whatsoever anywhere on the internet that I could find at all.
But then again,
Let's just say he hasn't. Is 6 games too little with no anger management?
Is 6 games too little with no anger management? I mean,
he took a helmet and tried to decapitate another player. Lest we forget.
You know, I haven't forgotten.
Right, but is 6 games too little?
Is 6 games too little?
Oh, this is a slam dunk answer, Chris.
It's not necessarily a slam dunk answer because
you can't put the broken part back on the car unless it's fixed.
I mean, you can't do it, but at the same time, I mean, if the NFL feels that the 6-game suspension, which is their stipulation anyway, for like most rules anyway, is a 6-game suspension when it comes down to any type of violence or domestic violence anyway, which that probably falls up under.
That's off the field domestic violence. This guy took a helmet and tried to.
But it's on the field, but it's still.
He could have killed him.
He could have killed him. I mean,
on the field.
Just like somebody could have killed their girlfriend by doing domestic violence off the field. So, I mean, if that falls under the NFL policies of 6 games, therefore it's nothing that the NFL can do if it's been collective bargained. So, you know,
so you think 6 games is enough, yes or no?
I personally don't think it, but if it's been collective bargain, there's nothing that the NFL can do about it.
I can't even believe this. I don't think it's enough. I think there's something wrong with him. When it immediately happened, he came out and said Mason Rudolph made some racial slur with 13 other players on both teams said, we never heard anything. And then they investigated Mason Rudolph. There's never been an accusation that he has made any kind of racial comments ever. I think Myles Garrett needs help. 6 games is not enough. He needs some therapy. He needs some anger management. And I wouldn't, if I'm Andrew Berry, the new GM in Cleveland, I got 9 million problems. I don't want Myles Garrett to be another one. I want to help the young man, and I want what we put out on the field to represent the Browns family in a good way. Shine a light of honor and good sportsmanship. And if he's not in a position where he can conduct himself the right way on the field, you simply do not go out on the field. That's just my position on it.
But then again, we're playing a game of football. We're all competitors. I mean, I've been in the situations where you've gotten heated, and I mean, I've been in situations playing sports where I mean there were fights or tiffs with teams. You know, I mean,
when was the last time in the NFL somebody took a helmet as a weapon and tried to take someone's skull off?
Right. I mean that's
there's
an
extremes. There's 10s and there's 1s.
Yes, that was extreme. But again, when it comes,
then the penalty needs to be more extreme.
But it can't be extreme if that's what their collective bargain is.
If I'm Andrew Berry, I say fine. That's what the NFL did. But for as far as the Cleveland Browns go, we want you to get some counseling. I want to be absolutely sure that when you step on that field, this is never happening again. I don't want to be kind of sure, and it might happen, but we hope it doesn't. I have to be absolutely sure. And if he hasn't gotten any kind of psychological help, counseling, anger management, if he hasn't gotten any of those things, what am I relying on? His word?
Well, Ron, you can say that for half of the teams. The NFL is dirty. You know how many people sit in the NFL right now and talk about you have offensive linemen sitting there trying to punch their eyes out while they're down, while they're sitting there tackling.
That's why we have shields in the NFL in the ice.
But that's the thing. I mean,
this went way beyond anything that's ever happened, and I know that you're smart enough to admit that. This has gone beyond anything that's ever happened in the NFL because the guy, I've never seen anything like it, and you haven't either. I just think the more extreme it is, the more careful we need to be. That's all I'm saying. We got to make sure that this guy is wired up the right way before he goes back on the field. Because if this ever happens again, Andrew Berry will get fired immediately because he didn't take care of the house.
But again, Ron, Andrew Berry probably wouldn't get fired simply because, again, that happened on the old administration. The only thing this guy could do is to take steps before, like you said, to make sure that he's okay. But again, if they were to try to suspend him, you're going to have the NFLPA come back and sue the Cleveland Browns because the NFL has already levied that penalty already.
We want to know what you think. You can get a hold of us many ways. We are on Twitter at @TheFirstRound1. You can check us out live here on the show. Join the chat, or you can get a hold of us through email, thefirstrroundrd@gmail.com. Give us your comments and questions. I think 6 games is too short. Speaking of doing crazy things on the field that we've never seen before, let's talk about real quick the MLB story with the Astros and the Red Sox. And I want to start with the Astros. And believe me, I'll get to my Red Sox in a minute. Now the story is coming out after the electronic signals that there's more of a heavy wave being influenced towards the commissioner's office, Rob Manfred, to rescind these championships. And the reason why is kind of twofold. One, there's new evidence about wires being worn, pictures coming out with players in that Game 6 against the Yankees and other games where it very much looks like there's a wire being taped to their shoulder. Now, there's a specific picture out there with Josh Reddick where you can see a little wire coming down his shoulder with a piece of tape across it. And when he's been asked about it in the last week, he said that was a piece of confetti. My first question is, why are you bullcrapping me? And the second question is, how is the confetti holding up against your body? And he could say sweat. And the next question is, why is there a little thin wire underneath that? And why is Jose Altuve screaming the most important thing he could say to all his teammates as he approaches home base after hitting the home run off Aroldis Chapman in Game 6 to send them to the World Series? The only thing that's on his mind is he doesn't want to lose his jersey. That smells like fish to me. If this wire thing is going on, I would be really upset. Now, real quick, let me talk about my perspective as a baseball fan and a Red Sox fan. I was actually talking to a buddy of mine today who is a huge Yankee fan like you are. And I said, my heart actually hurts if the Red Sox cheated in this fashion. Now, nothing has come out from the MLB report about the Red Sox wearing wires. Right. It's bad enough if they're using electronic methods to cheat and capture signals, relay them to the catcher or to the dugout, and then somehow get that out to the pitcher. That's bad enough. But if they were using wires, which there's no evidence of that yet, that's only been the accusations of that so far are only being shown down on the Houston Astros, and there's pictures out there, and we're showing some of them right now. My heart is so hurt by the fact that my team would do that. Honestly, I'd be so sad if just the fact that they cheated. Yeah. And I'm actually going to take the position that those championships, if they cheated, should be vacated. This is the example I used with my buddy. If you're you're applying to be the president of the Coca-Cola Corporation, and you do something to plant drugs, plant a story, do anything to get the current president out, and then you get that position. Right. Should you be able to hold that position?
That's a negative.
Absolutely not. So if the Astros and the Red Sox went about getting these championships in any illegal way, I think they should be vacated. And that is so hard for me to say because as a fan, you want your team to win because it makes you feel good that you were the best on the field. Yeah. But if you are the best on the field and you win because you cheated, you are no longer the best. And this is why I have exiled Rafael Palmeiro, Sosa, McGuire, Canseco, Roger Clemens, Barry Bonds, all those guys are out of the Hall of Fame forever. Pete Rose lied and cheated. You're not allowed in because you broke the rules. You knew what the rules were, and you broke them, and you're out. And I have to have the same standard for the Houston Astros who I respect as a good organization until this came up, and for my own Boston Red Sox, I don't think they deserve to be the champions if they've cheated to this extent.
Well, I came out and said to vacate the titles about a few weeks ago.
You're absolutely right.
And that was simply because, I mean, it was too much evidence that was coming out in regards to the whole wire thing. I mean, for this to happen, I mean, yeah, I'm a diehard Yankees fan, but if you beat me fair and square, I have nothing to do but to eat that. But the fact that they can, this stuff is continuing to trickle out, and now you have pictures of wires. I mean, you have
Carlos Beltran's niece.
Exactly. So I mean, she
comes out and says what?
That Altuve was wearing a wire, and so I mean, the fact that you have all of this stuff continue to trickle out. Yep. Not only is it a stain that's on the MLB. I mean, almost to a point that it could get back to like the Black Sox. I mean, because you're cheating the game. I mean, it's something that's going back that's that bad.
I know, I hate it, man.
And so, I mean, for this to happen for Houston, I mean, you got to think, I mean, look at who the teams Houston went through that year. They won the championship. Not only did they beat the Yankees, but they beat the Dodgers, and the Dodgers had an excellent pitching staff, probably the best in the league.
And we could get into a discussion about how much the cheating actually helped them,
right?
Which I think means nothing,
right?
Because there's no way to quantify, well, if they didn't cheat, then what are we looking at? Because how do we quantify what are we looking at? I mean, they could have still won the World Series without cheating.
Right.
But they might have lost. And the whole point that you're making, which is a great point, is that we don't know because you cheated.
Exactly.
And because you cheated, I mean, look, are we going to erase it from all the books and the memory and take back the rings? And I mean, all that stuff is just a ceremonial thing. To me, the public opinion stain that will loom over these two teams,
right?
I hope it motivates every other player moving forward and every other GM and organization never to let this stuff happen again, because we want to celebrate greatness that's pure.
Right.
I don't want to celebrate Ben Johnson winning the 100-yard dash with drugs.
Exactly.
I don't want to see Barry Bonds hitting 600-foot home runs every other night and knowing that his head is bigger than a watermelon and he's approaching 40. And that doesn't make sense metaphysically. I don't want to do that. I don't want people in the Hall of Fame that have amplified their statistics and their achievements in a fake way. I want to be able to look at, Babe Ruth, who ate hot dogs, cigars, and hamburgers and beer, and he was hitting more home runs than whole teams. And look at that and go, oh my gosh, and revel in the amazing athletic abilities of this man and his hand-eye coordination.
Right.
Or Ted Williams, hitting 400. Yeah. I want to be able to look at those things and know that they're real, and what I'm seeing is real. And it's not CG graphics, it's not enhanced, it's not drug enhanced, it's not performance enhancing drugs or HGH, any of that stuff. And when this enters into the field of sports, I feel bad for the kids that are starting to follow those sports. I feel bad for those organizations, because you can't really go around and have that back and forth bragging and repartee, because it's not there. It's fake. It's not real. And it sucks.
Yeah, it does suck. I mean, but now moving on to what's going on in the world of sports. We have Mark Bolsinger, a pitcher who pitched for the Toronto Blue Jays, who actually pitched against that Houston Astros team. He is now suing the Houston Astros for $31 million. I mean, he's suing the Houston Astros simply because, again, he's blaming that cheating scandal. It's coming back to bite him again, simply because he gave up 4 runs, in the 4th inning against that Houston Astros, because they lost like 16-4. And so, after he lost that game, he was actually terminated from the Toronto Blue Jays. And they terminated him, basically saying, we can't trust you to pitch the ball and do what you're supposed to do. He then went on to pitch in Japan and actually be one of the better pitchers in Japan. Jeez, guys, this whole cheating scandal, it sucks.
It does. But that music means only one thing. We've got to wrap up our show. I want to thank our support staff for a condensed show. Look for all of our shows on YouTube. We've got 51 of them or so. They're archived shows. Follow us, hit the subscribe button, tell your friends about the first round, and check out our new videos. We're going to be putting out 2 or 3 a week on specific subjects. We'd love to hear your input on that. Again, you can reach us right here at thefirstrroundrd@gmail.com. The man on the board, Ray Boom Boom Mancini. The man to my left, my co-host, Chris Roberts. El Presidente Chet 40 for all of us here in the St. Jude Studios, live in YouTube. We want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. We will be right back here Sunday, live on the first round. And look for our special UFC video coming out tonight. Until Sunday, take care, everybody.